Good afternoon. Welcome to our midweek motivation.
Are you motivated today?
I am definitely motivated today.
How about you?
I'm definitely motivated. And even if you're not motivated, we're here to motivate you.
Yeah, right place to be.
The right place to be if you need some motivation or you need some motivation on top of your motivation. I am here today with my co-host,
Angelica Sanchez.
and your host, Anthony Sanchez. And so we're excited to be here with you. We have a few things we want to be able to share with you. We love being able to hook up with you and connect with you on our Wednesday afternoons. And so, like always, we have some incredible things going on within Victory Outreach Fremont, and it just amazes me that, during this season that we all find ourselves in, the Victory Outreach Fremont is stronger than ever. Doesn't that amaze you?
Yeah.
Our church is stronger than ever.
Well, I think not only stronger, but more creative. More thriving. People are thriving, and
people are thriving. People are, being connected. And so we understand that we have a whole lot of work to do together. But at the same time, we're here to let you know that Victory Outreach Fremont is going to be okay.
Yeah.
Victory Outreach Fremont is okay. And so we have a few things we want to be able to remind you of today. And so,
we know that on Sunday we are starting our August nights, all Sunday nights through August. We're going to have something special every Sunday night, and we're going to be at the Newark Pavilion. And we know the first night is a night of worship. I know the music ministry, they are preparing.
Oh, powerful.
And I know that many of us, all of us miss worshiping together in the presence of God. That's one thing that we miss. And so,
right. I was in Heart of the Bay there at Victory Outreach Hayward probably a few months now. And then we were in Santa Rosa 2 weeks ago. And those of you who have not had an opportunity to worship together, I'm going to tell you right now, I think sometimes we forget what we're missing. I did, at least. I know that as I was there and I heard the live music, I felt the energy of everybody, and people were just lifting up their hands, something different began to happen. And I think that's one of our goals, right, is to be able to, for these August nights, just give us a reason to gather together again. Yeah,
Yes.
We're going to be in our cars. We're going to be having our masks and social distancing.
yeah,
but
even those that maybe they want to bring their lawn chairs or a chair, you could put your chair outside the car. But we're just asking that you wear your mask. When you go to the restroom, just wear. There will be a security guard. Not security.
Security will be in the house.
And he's an official security guard.
Yeah.
So he might.
He might zap you if you don't have your mask on, but it's going to be powerful. And, so once again, August, every Sunday night in August at 6:30 at the Newark Pavilion.
Yes, and we'll be having Roy De La Garza.
Ooh,
he's
man.
He's an evangelist.
Yes.
He always has a prophetic word. But that day, I what I love about it is it's going to be geared towards all the children. And so he also operates in a puppet ministry,
Right.
and he's able to minister through that too. And so that's a family night. And so we want to make sure that,
Yeah, that's
you
going to
bring
be
your children. And we're having Miles Minnick.
Miles Minnick will be there, and then also Dennis Cacciola
Yes.
will also be their comedian. So it's really like a family vibe we got going on as well. With Roy De La Garza coming, Dennis coming, and even Miles, the rap that he makes. I know sometimes, for if you're older like me, I grew up on rap, but I don't lean towards rap anymore, and sometimes it can be a little overwhelming sometimes, but not Miles. Miles's music is I would even say it's music with a message, right? He has music with a message, man. And
makes you want to do the Tootsie Roll.
It makes you want to do the Tootsie Roll. It makes you want to do all these crazy little dances, the Smurf, bring them on back. But at the same time, it's a really good family atmosphere.
Yeah.
Even with rap.
Yeah.
And then tell us about the last night.
Yes, the last night we are hosting Ambassadors Skateboarders. They are a ministry that reach out to young people, to skaters through their ministry. And so they're going to be bringing ramps, and so it's going to be exciting.
Yeah, so if you know anybody that comes from the skateboard lifestyle, or comes and wants to, you see them at the parks and all that, invite them to come on out, bring their skateboards. Tell them to bring their skateboards, and you never know, they might get an opportunity to kind of have some fun with them.
Give free giveaways, and so.
And they're also going to be ministering.
Yes.
these guys are preachers. These guys, everyone that they bring and skates with them has a testimony. And so it's going to be a powerful night.
Yeah.
It's going to be a powerful, actually, month. So
Yeah. Another great thing that we just actually dropped off over 5,000
Oh, man.
mailers at the post office today. And these 5,000 mailers are going all over Fremont.
yeah.
And so if you can see, it's pretty huge. You
It's
can't
a
miss it.
Huge flyer coming in. You know how sometimes we get these from realtors
Yeah.
inside your mailbox. Well, they're also getting one from us, Victory
Yeah.
Outreach Fremont. So on this other side here, there's room for their address, and then it also says from our home to your home. And so it's a new way of evangelism
Yeah.
for us anyway. You know, and we'll be able to reach families. 5,000 are actually going out today throughout neighborhoods in Fremont. And then
Yes.
once we complete that, it looks like next month we're going to try to go into some of these other neighborhoods. And, you know, we're hoping and praying that God is going to honor it.
Yeah.
And we're going to get some more online viewers within our church.
Yeah. So that means when we're out, we have to make sure we're on our best behavior.
Yeah, we got to make sure that
To make sure we're not out in our Ninja Turtle pajamas.
we're not in the flesh.
We're not in
make
the
sure we're not in the
flesh.
flesh.
So it's like we're putting ourselves and our church out there.
Yeah, and I think that's a good thing. That's
Yeah.
a positive thing because, you know, for us, you know, usually Victory Outreach style, we're out there with bullhorns, we're out there with flyers, we're out there in back of, you know, flatbed trucks with sound systems. And, you know, right now is, you know, we will do that, but I think right now we got to kind of switch up the style of evangelism in a unique way. So this is a way of doing it. And we're praying that God is going to go ahead and again bless every one of our efforts. So.
Yeah, and then that's going to reach a family that's hurting,
Right.
That's looking for hope, and they're going to scan in and go onto our website, join our service,
Right.
and they're going to be able to hear the gospel and
Yeah.
get saved just out of a mailer
Right, from our home
to yours.
to your home. That's
Yeah.
the slogan.
And then another exciting thing, we know that Run for Hope is in the air.
Ooh, come on. World evangelism. We
Yeah.
just got off a worldwide YouTube Zoom /meeting with our founders, Pastor Sonny and Sister Julie, and they basically challenged the whole outreach in this area.
Yeah.
So
And NorCal kind of got called out, right?
Northern California got personally called out by the founders, and they said, NorCal is off to a slow start.
Oh.
And so
I took it personal.
We took it personal. We felt the probing. We felt the challenge, but at the same time, Northern California has always done well. So
Yes, especially you, Victory Outreach Fremont. We have been on the top
Yeah.
of our category, and
Yes, we
I'm going to
have.
know once again we will be on the top of our category this year.
So we want you already, if you haven't registered, all you need to do is go on Run for Hope Victory Outreach and Run for Hope, and you could go ahead and register, and it'll walk you through the whole process
They
there.
could scan. Right now they're putting it up.
Oh, there you go.
So just if you haven't registered yet, you could scan that, and it will take you into the process and how to do that.
And I believe it might even be free, if I'm not mistaken. I
To
don't know
register.
yet. To register is free. It's going to give you a link that you can share with all your friends. And the minute you start bringing in money, it'll let you know. It'll email you who sponsored you and all of that. And again, our goal here in Victory Outreach Fremont is we have a big goal, right? It's men against the women,
Woo!
right?
Where are the hearts of fire at?
Come on, Iron Man. Here we go.
Moji.
Here we go. Here we go. We haven't even started yet. We haven't even started. They're jumping for joy behind the scenes right now.
Yeah.
And so we want to raise up as men. We've been given a goal of $30,000. Could you imagine that? $30,000 by October 17th.
And the women as well.
And the women as well, $30,000. So I think you guys are beating us right now by about 1,000.
We want to give a shout out to Mercedes. She's a top woman right now at
Yeah,
$400.
$400.
And then I believe Sean is a top gentleman
Right.
now at like close to 300.
Close to
So,
300. So we got a lot of work to do,
Yeah.
you know, but we want to be able to push hard. We want to, continue to do our best and, being able to, again, come out on
Yeah.
top.
And what I love about what they're doing this year is if you reach a certain goal, everybody gets a prize. And so I know sometimes we'll get T-shirts or we'll get, I don't know what you guys get, but this time, I believe if you start at 250 and up, everybody gets a prize.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then
that's
as you
a
go,
pretty,
as you raise 250, you'll get something. As you raise 500, you'll get something.
Yeah.
If you raise 750, you get something. If you raise 1,000, you get something. And
Yeah.
it just keeps going up and going up. So you could score on all levels if you wanted to. And then even churches, right? The churches that raise the most most money in between certain amounts. We also, as a church, get a gift cards and stuff like that.
Yeah, usually it's, the top 3 or the top 2, but
Yeah.
I love that. Every church has an opportunity to get
win.
a prize as well.
So right now, internationally, Victory Outreach Fremont, we are in the Lions category. Are we
Yes.
the Eagles? We're the Lions, right?
Lions.
We're in the Lions category, and so right now we're 9th place. So we got to step up our game. We got to step up our game. And right now we only have 31 people that have registered. So I want to challenge those of you who are life group leaders and those of you who are in life groups. We have over 125 people in life groups every week. Shout out life groups tonight, Wednesday nights. I want to challenge you guys to register.
Yeah.
If we can just get those people to register, I'm going to tell you right now, we'll climb up probably pretty close to like 4th or 5th place. But again, let's do our best, right? It's about us doing our best, and again, using those finances to win souls for Jesus,
Yes.
right? Win souls for Jesus. And so you'll be hearing more information about that, and we're believing God for some great things. So I know last week, Angelica and I, we talked about leadership, right?
Yes.
We talked about leadership. Are we ready to move on? Yeah, we're
Yeah,
good?
I think so. I don't have anything else here.
Okay, good. So we talked about leadership, and we try not to rush because as we deal with these principles that we're talking about, we just want to be able to share our hearts with you and bring, something to the table. And I guess if we want to review what we talked about last week, we talked about how being in a crisis demands certain things out of leaders. Yeah, it demands something. So there's some things that happen in a crisis that bring something out of us that a non-crisis does not bring out of us. And one of the things we talked about was creativity.
Yeah.
We talked about, right? This show,
We would have never done this
we would have never done that mail out if this season did not happen with us, right? We talked about it a lot. We dreamed about it, but we never really put feet to the plan.
It was never an emergency.
It was never an emergency. This show, Midweek Motivation, was birthed out of creativity, but through a crisis.
Yeah.
We also learned that flexibility, right? Did you want to say something still on that first one?
Oh, on the YouTube? Like this?
Yeah.
I would never do this.
No.
But because we felt we had to stay connected to the church, it pushed us to.
It pushed us to
Yeah.
every week, and we've been faithful. Come on, somebody.
Yeah.
We've been faithful.
Can we get a hand clap for that?
Yeah,
Yay.
thank you very much. So creativity is one of them. Crisis demands also flexibility, right? We learned about flexibility last week.
And they're reminding us that because it's in a season of change, one day you could do this, one day you can't.
Right.
And so understanding that there's going to be changes, but being able to adjust to those changes.
Fluidity is what we learned, right? Being fluid, in other words, going with the flow. Okay, going with the flow is one thing that
So
this
just
season.
make your middle name Flo.
Make your middle name Flo.
Yeah.
Flo lives here. Another thing was inspirational leadership, right? So we need leaders that are moving forward, leaders that are, building people up and not tearing people down.
Yeah.
We also learned last week transparency. I think that's even where we left off, right? Being transparent. How
Oh, yeah.
people deserve transparency from leadership, right? I believe that's why, and I will say this because I know it to be true. That's why I believe the United States is. There's a lot of different reasons we're in the condition that we're in right now, but one of them is that our leadership hasn't been very transparent with us, and that's on all levels, right? That's on all levels, both sides of the aisle, all levels.
Yeah, but even if they were transparent, we wouldn't know what to believe.
Yeah, true.
But
So-
anyways, that's another
Well,
topic.
because they haven't been in the first place. So what we need to have is we need to be transparent during this season with those that we are leading. So we learned about that last week. A few things we want to talk about this week that we didn't talk about last week was that what crisis demands out of leadership is it demands a team. In other words, it demands a unity. Okay, everyone say unity.
Unity.
Unity. It demands unity. In other words, that it's important that we understand that we know we can't do it alone now, right? That was one of the first things we learned from the season was that the times of the one-man show, the one-man band, the one-woman show, the one-woman band are no longer, right? We need a team. And so, because that has to do with unity. Everybody working together. And I'm not going to give you a unity speech today, but I wanted to get that out
Well,
to
I
you.
think within unity, you have a mindset of everybody's valuable. Everybody brings something to
That's
the
good.
table.
Right.
One might be in your face, one might be visible, but then there's also those that bring something to the table that are in the background. And so learning to value everybody in this season, because everybody plays a role.
Yeah, whether it's a big role or a small role, you know, if you look at this broadcast today, the lights, you don't see them, but we see them.
Or you see them in my glasses.
But you would know if they weren't here. When we do our services, if one thing is missing, you know that it's missing. You'll feel it. So in other words, it's just everybody working together at all levels to function together.
Yeah.
So that's what crisis demands. It demands teamwork and it demands unity.
That's good.
Another thing that we've discovered what a crisis demands out of leadership is it demands solutions.
So stop bringing me the problems
Yeah.
and bring me the solution.
It demands solutions. So as everyone eventually will talk about the challenges, we need to be the kind of people that are talking about not just the problems, but we're talking about the solutions.
Yeah.
Okay? Because everyone can see the problems, right? Everyone can see them. Problems are obvious. But it really takes someone special to come and say, these are the solutions, and this is what we need right now.
Yeah, and when you say that, what begins to click to me is this person, all they need to really have is passion and eagerness.
Right.
They're doers.
Right.
They're hard workers. And so, they might not know all the answers, but they'll figure it out if you
Right.
give them some time.
Yeah.
So,
Definitely. And another thing is you think about it like this too when it comes to solutions, and maybe you're a leader today or you're an up and coming leader. Most likely you became a leader because you knew how to figure things out. You just figured it out, right? In other words, you brought solutions to the table. And so because you and I have brought solutions to the table sometime during our journey, then that's what caused us to sit at the table of leadership, right? And so we can't stop that about ourselves. We got to keep bringing solutions to the table. So here's my question for you here today. What solutions do you have? What solutions do you have?
Yeah.
Right? We all have challenges, right? We all have obstacles. We all have limits. We all have this and we all have that. But when you start to brainstorm and you start to think about certain things, you start bringing solutions. And again, remember these principles. I want everybody to know that they're not just limited to the church house, but also personalize it at your job, personalize it at your house, personalize it in your marriage. Come on, somebody, right?
Yeah.
If all I ever did was bring Angelica problems, it would wear her down. Eventually she'd be like, come on, man.
I'll be saying, you're the problem.
Yeah, eventually I'm the problem. Ooh, come on, give me 5 on that one. So I got to eventually bring solutions to the table, right? And that's
yeah.
what crisis demands. Crisis is demanding all of us to bring solutions to the table.
That's good.
Yeah. Another thing that crisis demands out of leaders is it demands, I like this one, preparation. Being prepared. My God. Now, when we think of being prepared as a leader, we have to understand at the same time that preparation is not always necessarily coming up with a plan.
Okay.
All right? And what I mean by that is when I put a message together on Sundays, okay? Think about it like this. It's taken me 22 years to come up with that message of preparation, okay? But it only took me 8 hours to plan it. So that's why I say preparation is because sometimes we come with a plan, right? Here's my plan. That means I'm prepared. No,
Yeah.
It doesn't. It just means you planned. Preparation is something that God has been doing the whole time. So that's why I'm saying it's on how well you've been prepared is how well you will lead during this time. And
So what are ways, as leaders in the church or leaders in our home or as we lead ourselves, that we could prepare? Because we know this is eventually going to
Of course.
pass away. All
It's gonna
things pass
pass.
away.
Yeah.
All things become new.
Yeah.
And
So I think on how well you prepare now is going to determine coming out of this
yeah,
thing.
the seeds that are planted now will be the harvest of tomorrow.
Yeah, so it's a very good question, and it's a broad question. When you think about it in a spiritual sense, the obvious answer is, digging in deep spiritually. Taking advantage of what the church is offering now. Right? We heard last night from Pastor Israel Tavor, who spoke to our leadership and even some of the leadership in the region. He started letting us know about prayer. He started letting us know about the spiritual disciplines. So we got to keep the disciplines going, because if we get laxed and lazy and stagnant now, then once we come out of this, the gates are going to just open. And when we go back to church, it's going to be time to run. And if you haven't been exercising in the spiritual gym, you're going to be out of shape.
Yeah.
Right? So there's that piece to it. And then also, like, even within our home, right? Even within our home now, we're not letting our weeds grow in the backyard. We're not letting, the carpet go. We're not letting, lights break. We're not letting certain things go around the house. We're keeping it together. You know what I'm saying? So we're preparing that. Our marriage, right? We've been hit. But I
hit him.
we've been working.
Wait, let's do it again.
Yeah.
Go back.
Babe, slow mo. Okay, she's been wanting to do that for a long time.
Or
Obviously.
there's this one. Wait.
Wow.
Sorry, guys.
She's been holding that one.
It's the
in
coffee.
the
It's the coffee.
Holster for a long time. But anyway, when it comes to our marriage, we haven't just put it on the back burner, but we've been investing in it. During this time of COVID, we've taken time off, right? We've had to leave. We've had to go out. We've had to get out of town. We've had to go and recharge our batteries.
Yeah.
Because the things that we once had are no longer there. So that's what I'm saying.
No more theater popcorn.
No more theater popcorn or nothing like that. So we're preparing, right?
Yeah.
So when we come out of this thing, our marriage is not going to be wounded, right? But it's going to be victorious. You know what I'm saying? So those things like that.
Yeah.
And
Well, there's a quote that says, "In the time of peace, prepare for war."
My God.
And so you might be in a season where it's peace. Everything's calm, everything's cool.
Right.
Marriage is great. Kids, are home, acting right.
Right.
But in these times, we got to prepare because there
love
is a
that.
war ahead.
I love that.
For sure.
Yeah, definitely. It has to do with preparation.
Yeah.
Right? So we need to understand that. And why are we preparing? Because we're preparing because there's always going to be conflict. There's always going to be conflict. And we need to be conflict negotiating type of leaders. Okay? Why? Because as leaders, we have to understand that there is always going to be, especially now, change, right? So crisis accelerates change, and change accelerates conflict.
Okay.
Okay? Did I say that right?
Yeah.
Right? So crisis accelerates change. There's always change,
Because
right?
of crisis, there's going to be changes.
Right,
And
so
because of the changes, there's
There's
going
always
to be
going to
conflict.
be conflict.
Yeah.
So that's why we have to be prepared.
Yeah.
Prepared for that. Okay? I guess the next one we could move on to. We got just a few more minutes. We got about 5 more minutes. It also, crisis demands from leadership calmness. Calmness. Calm down.
I'm trying.
So when a leader panics, everyone panics, right? When the leader is unstable, everyone else is unstable.
The leader that's
Yeah, fidgety. We're all fidgety, right? So that's why I say leaders, we got to be calm. We got to do our best to be calm. I know it's not always easy. It's easier, obviously, said than done. But we got to get a hold of ourselves, right? We got to get a hold of
gotta be
ourselves.
calmado.
We got to be stable.
Yeah.
Emotionally calm, stable. And so that's why it's
visualize it. Like you get that rope. You have your emotions are all scattered.
Yeah.
You got to get that rope, and you got to begin to bring them together.
Yeah.
Bring them together, tie them
Right.
up, and keep them put away until you've calmed down. Because the worst things we do, and some of the worst things we say, is during our emotional.
Yeah.
Our emotions crazy, and
Those moments.
those moments.
And especially as leaders, it can happen. You know, it could happen. And I think that's why, you know, when the leader's afraid, everyone else is afraid. When the leader's scared, everyone else is afraid. So as leaders, crisis is demanding all of us to be a little bit more calm. Yeah. I got a few more. I don't know if we'll finish them, but decisiveness. Us as leaders, we have to be decisive. So we don't have the privilege, you know, all the time. And what I mean by this, to wait to make decisions. We got to make some decisions fast, right? I've had to make, how many decisions did we make today over the phone? Like 15 decisions today, right? Fast, bam, bam. I just made a decision right before this broadcast. I had to make a pretty serious decision.
Okay.
Just 5 minutes before, but decisive, fast decisions, right? We don't have to wait. We can't always wait to get all the information to make all the decisions.
And I could be guilty of being an indecisive person. You know, I don't know. I'm just kind of person that if I have one person next to me, just tell me what do you feel about this? Or, you know, A or B, or, you know, green or red. And then that person makes a decision for me.
Yeah.
But I know that in times of crisis, like you said, we have to either A or B, pick one. I don't know. Close your eyes and pick one.
Yeah, sometimes you're going to make them the wrong decision, but you got to be decisive, you know, at times, not all the time, but there's going to be times because crisis asks for, I need an answer now. And then you have to be willing to live with your decision.
Right.
As a leader.
That's the part.
That's the part, right? You know, I nailed it or I didn't nail it.
Yeah.
Well, at least I'll learn from it.
But it's better than making no decision at all, and then you're
Yeah, right. So you got to be able to stick with your decisions, right? Because you cannot control other people's responses to your decision, but you can stand firm in what you've decided. Okay? And let me give you this last one here today before we let you go. Crisis demands from leadership communication. Okay? Leaders are communicating, remember this, faster than ever. It's hard to communicate right now. Right? Because most of our communicating is done different now. It's not in person.
Well, we've grown. You know, we have an app we communicate through. We have social media. We have email. We have all these different avenues. We even want to get into like text notifications, and so it's always, you know, hitting those different doors and avenues.
So you got the mobilizing communicating that we got to do as leaders that crisis has demanded from us. But what about this when you're communicating with people, with your people as a leader, maybe your kids, maybe, you know, your ministry. You got to remember when you communicate, we're always communicating from our head, but people are always listening with their heart. Okay? So we're trying to communicate from here, but people are running it through the filter of their emotions. So you have to understand that as you're saying stuff, you know, people are going to understand it a whole different way. So that's why we have to be empathetic. We have to be sympathetic, right?
Yeah.
And we have to.
I didn't mean it that way.
Right. How many times?
How I meant it.
How many times have I had to go back during this time and explain what we said, right? Because we're talking from here and people are listening from here. Yeah. So anyway, that's.
But remind them about Wednesdays.
Yes, before we let you go, we got around 4 more weeks, roughly 4 more weeks until we start our Wednesday night online brand new midweek services starting September 2nd. Come on, get excited about that. Get excited about that. So the question that I've been getting back is, what are we going to do with midweek motivation? Well, we don't totally know yet. We're going to keep it going, but we don't know what day we're gonna keep it going. And so we won't be coming for sure out of the YouTube midweek motivation platform, but we'll be coming out of our Facebook. Okay, because that's just what we'll do. We either run it out of mine or we'll run it out of Victory Outreach Fremont's. But besides that, Wednesday night service, come on somebody, is going to start September 2nd. So we'll let you know this weekend, and we'll be getting you the literature, the flyers, and all that stuff, because it's going to be a great move for us. And in the bigger picture, you will have your Friday nights back again.
Yay.
Praise the Lord, you'll have them back again. So get excited about that. We love you guys. We're praying for you. It's great connecting with you today. You got any closing remarks you want to be able to make here today?
No, we'll see you on Friday.
See you Friday night at 7:30. God bless you, and we love you guys.
Bye.